right, guys. Today's episode of Altura Realty Connect. I have the great Carolyn Scott from Old Republic Title Company. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. I know your time's busy, so appreciate you hopping on. Today, we're going to talk about generating leads through Old Republic and how you can help realtors, loan officers, just kind of develop some creative ways to help get some additional business. So you have the floor. Floor is yours. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. My name is Carolyn Scott. I'm an account executive with Old Republic Title Company, and I've been here for 9 years. So this is my first and my only title company that I've been with. So I'm very proud of that. And I hopefully you guys can get something out of this. So in regards to what Travis said for farm filters for realtors, so there's two different programs that we use. One is Title Pro 247. And the other one is OR Pro Farm. So they both pool the same information because as a title company, we're only able to pull things that are recorded. There's just different things with each program that you will find once we can sit down and you can go through them yourself. But here are some main points that would help you guys find some leads. So tax delinquent, so we can look up property tax delinquency. As well as non-owner occupieds in a neighborhood, or you could do in a city. So we can filter out through cities, zip codes. If you don't want to do Fresno or Clovis and you want to do Selma, Tulare, or anywhere else throughout California, we'd be happy to pull those for you. So there's the non-owner occupieds as well as owner occupieds. As well as like the recording date. So we're able to pull anyone who has lived in their home for the past 5 to 10 years, as well as getting the phone numbers. Of course, that is a charge. It's about 6 to 8 cents per address pulled. And then we do have turnover rates, and that is also a complimentary farm filter that we could use. You could do a turnover rate in a neighborhood or a subdivision. So they're pretty extensive depending on how you want to do things.
Well, yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interject you. I had a question, but I know you've helped me in the past many times trying to filter certain things down. So just put this perspective of a realtor, they're going to be doing open houses. They have a listing potentially coming up, or they just have a favorite neighborhood or area that they want to maybe advertise to with flyers. And so all of that stuff is fantastic. In specifically for with turnover rates, that would mean, can you explain that a little bit more in depth? Like, what does that mean?
So a turnover rate is based on the amount of homes in the neighborhood that you are trying to technically farm. A turnover rate is basically the amount of time that a person stays in that neighborhood. So I would recommend, let's say for an area of 200 homes, I would say you would want at least a 5 to 6% turnover rate based on the algorithms to make that a viable neighborhood.
That's important. That's like next level stuff right there. That's like important. Cool. Awesome. You want to move on to the loan officers?
Sure.
Cool.
Okay, so we have different, of course, for the loan officers, this is going to be a premium, mostly only farm. So the loan amounts, the loan types, so if HELOC or if they're doing conventional, if they're doing FHA, VA, we're able to pull those initial loan amounts as well as the initial interest rates. So I think that's very important. So once, I know that the interest rates are a little bit higher, but once they go down to like 5 or 6s, to reach back out to those initial interest rate homeowners and see if they'd like to refi. And then also we are able to pull out notice of defaults. So again, all of these loan types are going to be about 6 to 8 cents per address pulled. But I think they're going to be very fruitful because they're very concentrated. And as well as we're able to pull people who bought their house for cash, or you can even check equity percentages. So I think that's very important.
Yeah, that's a great point. So specifically for the loan officer, I'm thinking of how we can use this immediately in their business, right? So I think number one, we got to attack HELOC. So if we know consumer debt's at really an all-time high. I mean, if you read any reports saying that people are spending. So we could
Yeah.
potentially get the HELOCs on these properties that have a lot of equity in them, and yeah, continue business rolling for. That's what it's about, right? So
Yeah, no, totally. And like I said, we don't just have to do Fresno and California or Fresno and Clovis. You can go throughout California to try and get these addresses.
yeah, very cool. Thanks, Carolyn.
Mhm.
Okay.
Now, Carrie unfortunately could not be here with you guys today, but some things that she told me that would make for a smooth escrow is making sure you get as much documents up front as possible, especially trust documents, probate, solar, and the mortgage payoffs. Those are very important because they need to be on, they have a timeline. And so also the contact information is very important to get up front, just so we have the right contact information, the right email for each of the clients. And then don't be afraid to run scenarios. Yes, do not be afraid to run scenarios by escrow officers because you don't want to have any surprises. And so another great way to have a smooth escrow is to actually get a pre-open. So once you have a listing agreement, we would definitely recommend you pre-opening, which means that we get the preliminary report started on our end. So our preliminary reports take about 2 to 4 business days. And so once we have the preliminary report, then we know what payoffs need to be made, what needs to be signed off so we can have a clear title over to the client. So
Yeah.
I would definitely recommend a preliminary report because sometimes things pop up and you don't even know.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm just thinking of scenarios that I've had where, on the buying side and the selling side, that things could have been prevented, but just by having this stuff up front. And then I think it, from a business professional standpoint, it makes you look so much more professional when you can avoid the hiccups, right?
Oh, yes, of course. And we are an extension of you and we are part of your team. So we want to make sure that you and us, we both look as good as possible and are all on the same page.
Yeah, and I can honestly, just from personal experience, say that you guys at Old Republic Title are just fantastic, and you've helped me so much in my business, learn a lot. I mean, there's so much to this business in real estate. There's so many different things, and it's like I'm just so grateful for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Where can people find you? If I know you want to get calendars out as well, so if you following Carolyn Scott on Instagram, you got it on Facebook. So where can people find you?
So you can text message me or call me. My phone number is 559-288-0467. And then my email is Carolyn, Carolyn, and then S as in Scott at ortc.com. And yes, we still do have 2023, 2024 planners and dust calendars. So if you need any, please feel free to let me know.